for my security incoming. That is why we have peace today. So President Abacha gets the flying colors.
Relations between the Abacha government and those of Western countries were frosty during the period of his administration. Abacha did not trust Western solutions to African and indeed Nigerian problems, and he never accepted them. He said on several occasions that Nigerians have the capacity to solve their problems themselves. Abacha's distrust for the West is not unconnected with Africa's colonial legacy.
Nigeria, like most developing countries the world over, has suffered from a long history of exploitation and oppression. That is why today descendants of our people are to be found dispersed in far-off places such as Brazil, Chile, Cuba, North America, and the Caribbean. Most of these people went there not by free choice, but by force of circumstances. They were victims of one of the most cruel forms of exploitation the world has ever known: slavery. For 2 centuries, the trade in slaves and the practice of slavery drained our continent, Africa, of its natural and human resources. Our continent was called the Dark Continent. Colonialism was also a manifestation and an extension of the evil of slavery, perhaps even on a much larger scale. Nigeria and most of Africa were colonized and subjugated for a period of not less than 100 years. The system imposed by colonialism not only further depleted our resources, but also left our countries and our people with daunting challenges of economic, political, and social nature. With the end of colonial rule, Nigeria, like most other former colonial territories, began to pick up the pieces and rectify the harm and devastation done to our societies and our peoples by centuries of foreign exploitation and oppression.
Consequently, Nigeria's territorial integrity and sovereignty were not to be compromised, especially to the West. While the Western countries tried to isolate Abacha and his government, African leaders, especially in ECOWAS, embraced him. He was made chairman of the regional body in 2 successive years in recognition of his contributions to the sub-region. He also played host to several leaders from Africa and beyond, and received several emissaries from foreign leaders. Most prominent of those leaders received by Abacha was the Catholic Pontiff, Pope John Paul II.
All Nigerians must be made to feel proud of their nation. All must play a part in constructing the future. This is my prayer to Almighty God for you. God bless Nigeria and all Nigerians. God sustain all the peoples of Africa.
In his younger days, Abacha was a keen sportsman. This was reflected in his administration's support for sports development in Nigeria. Consequently, Nigeria made her greatest achievements in sports during the Abacha years. In 1994, he personally spoke to Nigeria's Super Eagles shortly before they played the finals of that year's African Nations Cup.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Sani George.
Yes, George, you have been doing very well.
Thank you, sir.
The result was the African Nations Cup, won for the first time in 14 years.
Head of State Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria,
He also spoke with the Olympics Dream Team in 1996, shortly before they played the Olympics football final. The Dream Team conquered their opponents and won the Olympic football gold, the first by any African team. Nigeria also won 3 other Olympic medals, including a gold in long jump, making it Nigeria's greatest moment in sports. In recognition of Abacha's support for sports development in Nigeria and Africa, the Supreme Council for Sports in Africa honored him with its meritorious award. On the 7th of June this year, the President of the Authority of the State of Palestine, Mr. Yasser Arafat, made a stopover visit to Nigeria and was received by Abacha. 3 hours later, Arafat departed. Abacha returned home, and that was his last public outing. On Monday, the 8th of June, the news of the death of General Sani Abacha got to Nigerians, and the nation was shocked. He was buried that night in Kano.